Hey, music fans, welcome to the Musical Miles podcast. I'm your host, Byron Duffin, and I'm here with a young lady by the name of Venessa Carpenter from Aramo, Idaho, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're here at the BBR, the Braun Brothers Reunion in Challis, Idaho. This is the 40th, I've mentioned this multiple times, but the 40th annual reunion for, and I don't know, it might be one of the longest running music festivals in the country. And definitely one for this type of music. But Venessa is a very talented young lady that we just had our opportunity to hear for the first time here at the Roadhouse in Challis, the Challis Roadhouse. And thanks again to Andy and Mia. They have given us the opportunity to sit here and film these podcasts, and we really appreciate them. This is a cool venue, and it's a cool opportunity for you to get to come and play with Mr. Jack Nelson.
Yes.
Yeah.
This has been really fun. I've enjoyed it. It's been really fun sharing the stage with him. I opened for Jack last year. In a place called the Teutonia Club.
Oh, cool.
And so that was really fun meeting him there, and we've had quite a few adventures that have tied together since then.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, kind of what we want to know, Venessa, is your musical journey. You're young. You know, I own lots of stuff way older than you are. So I have grandkids older than you are. But
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm an old guy. So tell us your journey. How'd you get started? Your mom play? Your dad play? What's the deal?
Well, let's just start it back when I was around 9 years old. We were taking and going to pick up a horse down in Texas. That's where I was raised, and I wasn't born there. I was actually born up in Idaho, but raised in Texas. And while we were picking up the horse, the road started to narrow down and get smaller. We got a horse trailer on the back, and we're hitting trees, and trees are hitting us, and we're trying to get through this brush. And the last house, we go into it, and we pull in there, and we ask the lady that's out in her wood shack, and the shack, it was a little scary for a second. There was lots of dead animals hanging around. But we took and she let us turn around in her field instead of her yard. We get turned around, and thankfully, you know, she was not crazy. She was going to close the gate when we went in there. But we we got to talking with her, and she turned out to be Casey Musgrave's mom.
Oh, you're kidding.
And so she had asked us if we could vote for her daughter, and that's how we came to find out she was Casey Musgrave's mom. And so after that, we remembered that Casey Musgrave and Miranda Lambert, their teacher, was around pretty close to where they lived. So we started looking, and down in Mineola, Texas, I found my first guitar teacher, Mr. John DeFore. And he's passed away not too long ago, but he was the best, amazing man ever. Taught me so much. And over the last couple of years, after that, I got a voice teacher who, her name was Shonda Rains, and her husband was Charlie Shear. And they taught me a little further in my music. They taught me, she taught a lot of kids that went on The Voice, America's Got Talent, Carrie Underwood how to sing. So a lot of that came from that, and it's been quite the journey since then. Kind of been on my own since moving back up here.
Sure.
So.
Well, that's quite a story. Wow. Yeah, to meet Casey's mom. I love Casey Musgrave. She's an incredible talent. And so you moved back to Idaho when?
Back in 2019.
Okay, so you've been back up here since 2019 and just really, really worked on your craft. I mean, you're an incredibly talented guitar player. And how we kind of got connected was because of Jack, obviously, and because of Teton Guitars. So Teton has been so gracious. You see a Teton sitting here in the corner, and before we get out of here today, I'm going to hand it over to you. I've been listening to you play this afternoon and got some great video and of you playing, but you're incredibly talented, and I'm jealous. I mean, you're so young and so talented. So really, how many years have you played the guitar?
I think it's going on 11 now.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Well, I'm glad that you stuck with it, because I wish I would have. Maybe I could play 10% as good as you if I'd have stuck with it. But you're incredibly talented, and you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And I love your songwriting skills. So you sat down here today and told some stories about the songs that you've written. kind of how did that develop in you?
Well, I'm not really sure. Like earlier, I was talking about my friend Mr. Dan, of course, and he taught me a lot about writing songs. He actually worked in Nashville, and he told me that when a starting musician is trying to write a song, it's always the youngest comes up with the ideas. So we took and got together, and I'd come up with the ideas, and he'd guide me how to put it together. I'd have a storyline kind of figured out, and he'd help me put it together in the ways that it needed to be. He even wrote me up a special Dan's Tips for Songwriting.
Oh, there you
go. For me to take and go off of. And it just, teaches you to not as many words, be less words, tell the story as you want to tell the story in as little words as possible.
Sure.
You don't want to be just dragging it on.
Sure.
You want to leave some to the imagination.
Okay.
So we did a bunch of that.
Well, so let me ask you. Obviously, you're young, and you've had some influences in your life, in your career. Who have been your musical influences?
Well, I think for storytelling or writing songs and stuff like that, I'd have to say it's Chris Ledoux. I love his stories. He's got tons of great songs. Aaron Watson was another that really inspired a bunch of that. Dean Brody. Dolly Parton, she's got a lot of amazing tunes out there too, which I've had lots of people compliment my vocals being similar to hers, or Emmylou Harris.
Oh, there you go. Those are all great ones. Chris Ledoux. So back in the 70s, when Chris was selling CDs, cassette tapes out of his pickup, right, when he was rodeoing, and I'm an old rodeo guy, an Idaho farm boy that always wanted to be a cowboy, and so I had the opportunity but I bought some of Chris Ledoux's tapes back when I was a kid, right, when I was rodeoing and going down the road, and it was just fun to listen to Chris. And so and Ned is just the spitting image of his dad. He's got his great voice, and just love listening to those guys. So let me ask you, have you been able to record it much yet, or?
So I have a single that I just went and recorded, but it has not been released yet.
Okay.
It's one about my great grandpa that I wrote about him. His name was Joe Beard.
Okay.
And over in Teton Valley, he had a lot to do with oxen, like pulling oxen and all that.
Okay.
But when he was younger and stuff, this was about the 1930s.
Okay.
He got caught making moonshine with his brothers.
Uh-oh.
And so he took the fall for his brothers, and a lot of stuff went down with that, which I'll leave y'all to take and listen to the song to figure out the story. Leave some imagination for that.
There you go.
But he was in jail for about a year, and he wrote letters back and forth with his wife Lila.
Okay.
And the song is called Letters to Lila.
Oh, cool. That's a great story, and that's what makes a great song, right? It's a great story, and being able to put that to music and share that story is a talent. I don't care who you are, right? So, well, that's awesome. And so, what are your plans? Where are you headed?
I think I just want to get my name out there. I don't know if you know who Dave Stamey is, or.
Oh yeah, I love Dave Stamey. In fact, one of my favorite songs that I play is Campfire Waltz.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, I don't play it very good, but I love that song. Absolutely love it. And seen Dave 3 times. Yeah. So.
I've opened for him about 4 or 5 times now, I believe.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he's been really fun. I think if I got to about his position of fame, I'd be happy.
Yeah, well, he's done very well, and actually we saw him, maybe one of the first times we saw him was in Elko at the Cowboy Poetry Gathering.
Yes.
And Miss Adrian Brannon opened for him.
Oh, sweet.
And actually we hired Miss Adrian. She came and did a Buckaroo Bash for us, a New Year's Eve party.
Oh,
What's
my
it been,
goodness.
Miss Shanda? Probably 2016 maybe. She was still pretty young before that. Yeah, before that. So she's just as sweet as she can be. And I'm hoping to get Adrian on the podcast with us. But you remind us a lot. We were sitting here listening to your set, and Miss Shanda said, she reminds me of Adrian.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, so that's cool. So Adrian, if you're listening, pay attention. We'd love to have you on the podcast. So what else you got going on? What's your plans?
Right now I am working working to, besides music and such, I am working to start a leather business.
Okay.
I do a lot of leather work, from belts, bags, guitar straps. You know, if you want a Bible bag or a Book of Mormon bag, I can make that for you. They're pretty fun.
There you go.
I've done quite a bit in that. The guitar straps I did for Tonight Show and stuff on Jack Nelson and mine. Those I both made. And
Oh, awesome.
They were really fun.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a talent, another talent that I wish I had. Grew up in the, I'd like to say I'm an Idaho farm boy that wanted to be a cowboy, so I spent a lot of time in the saddle, and I've been around some great leather workers. Actually, Nancy Martini, who is a great saddle maker, she is incredibly talented. Lives up the Cimarron here. I've known her for lots and lots of years. Dale Harwood, who's probably one of the greatest saddle makers ever, and Leatherman, it's just incredible. The guys at King Ropes in Sheridan, but anyway, that's kind of off the subject. But once again, I'm really thrilled to meet you, and thank you, Teton Guitars, because they're so extremely generous with you, the artist, and with us. And we're thrilled to be involved with Teton Guitars. And so, how did you make that connection with Teton?
Jack Nelson actually introduced me. He brought me into Chesboroughs and Idaho Falls, and he introduced me to Katie and all the others that were there for it, that were running it. And so I got to pick out a guitar, and the guitar that stood out to me was their red guitar.
I saw that the other day, and I fell in love with it too.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. But I couldn't get him to give me one of those to have autographed. But it is beautiful. And you know, guitars are like children. You don't have children, but someday you'll know and appreciate it. Your mom can relate to this. Guitars are just, they speak to me, and I used to be guns.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So now it's guitars. But anyway. So you love the red guitar.
I do. It's been really fun.
Yeah, fun. Well, cool. Well, before we get out of here, I'm going to hand you this guitar.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to play us a little ditty. You play whatever you want.
Alrighty.
And here's a pick if you need one. So just, she's got her own pick. She came prepared. She's got a pick in her.
I always keep a pick in my pocket.
There
I've
you go.
learned to do
Smart
that
girl.
About having to take a cable with me as well.
Yeah, or six capos. I saw that.
Oh my goodness, correct. Let's see. Well, one of the things that's been kind of a fun deal for me when performing or traveling or anything is red-tailed hawks.
Okay.
So whenever we're traveling, we're always looking for them, because if you see a red-tailed hawk, it means you're going in the right direction. So I wrote a song with my friend Dan McCorson called The Red-Tailed Hawk.
Cool.
The coyotes keep on lying, and the buzzards think I'm dying. Now I'm lost, and I don't know where to go. These hills look the same on these wide open plains, and no marker, miles to point the way. For 3 days now I've wandered, I'm drained, and I pondered just how a girl could end up this way. And I'm down on my knees, asking God please to help this lost soul once again. I've crossed rivers, I've crossed mountains, how far did I stray? To end up out here in this no man's land. Choices that I made with my fake friends along the way. I kept going when I should have turned around. Then a shadow passes by, red-tailed hawk flying high, and I recall what the Indians would say. When you're lost, seek the spirit. If you're quiet, you can hear it. That old hawk is gonna show me the way. I've crossed rivers, I've crossed mountains, how far did I stray? To end up out here in this no man's land. Choices that I made with my fake friends along the way. turn around. The stubbles dancing in the wind remind me just what a fool I've been. But I follow that old hawk into the setting sun, and I pray that my new life has just begun. I follow that old red tail to the setting sun, and I pray that my new life has just begun.
That was so awesome.
Thank
you so much. Okay, you got to autograph that. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, we're gonna put you on there with all these other famous artists, right? So someday I'm gonna go, hey, I got to interview Venessa Carpenter. How talented
Is this
she
Jack
is.
Nelson's?
That is Jack's, yes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it right by there.
Right by Jack. Okay. Yeah, this has been fun. We're so grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedule, and we look forward to following your career. You're going to be in Bone, Idaho, coming up with Jack. When is that?
That is the 17th.
The 17th. Okay, and that is such a cool venue. We actually got the chance to sit down with Amanda here not too long ago and do a little blurb on the podcast. We went out and watched a little rock and roll band play out there a couple weeks ago. What was it? Scratch. That's right. Miss Shanda's back here giving me hand signals, right? So, but how cool is this? This has been so fun. Venessa, you're extremely talented. We love your music, and we look forward to following your career. And
Okay.
you will have a successful career, no doubt. No doubt.
Thank you.
Thanks again. So from Musical Miles Podcast, I'm your host, Byron, with Venessa Carpenter here at the BBR in Challis, Idaho. We'll see you next time. Adios.
See you guys.